welcome back to the Stormwater Creek podcast. I think we're like at episode, we're in the 60s now, bro.
Are we?
Yeah. How cool is that?
Define cool.
Tattoo cool.
Tattoo cool.
Tattoo cool.
You're really on this, and we had a whole thing about this just a second ago.
Yeah, we went live before the kickoff of this podcast and had some shenanigans for on the Stormwater Creek Instagram account, which if you're not following that, hashtag. No, I keep saying hashtag. I did this before.
Yeah, I don't understand that.
At Stormwater Creek. Like I said, it was because of the Pound Me Too thing.
You love that too.
It's so funny that somebody came up with a great saying that didn't really put it together, that the hashtag to most people is, well, I guess not to most people, but to cool people is a pound
to cool
sign.
People.
It's a pound sign, and therefore it's, pound me too. So, is it a question or statement? Anyways, so if you're not already following us on Instagram or Facebook at Stormwater Creek, and you're listening to the podcast, so I imagine you are hip to our shenanigans of talking about things. So we are awaiting Drew Wilson to come down from Arkansas to Dallas to provide us with fish tattoos, which are going to be fun. And so I've recently entered the world of tattooage, as it's called in Paris. And I'm all about it now. These boys have ruined me.
Yes. That is something that I do with great pleasure, is ruin people. Ruin people's lives. That's just how I roll.
Yeah. So we were talking about the fact that we, get tattoos because we harbor some sort of resentment to something in the past. And, but the whole point of this is to say that if you're not already following Drew Wilson, go follow Drew Wilson on Instagram. He is an awesome tattooist. He'll be here the weekend of May 9th, and you should probably reach out sooner rather than later because he's filling up quickly. Other than that, you're going to have to drive to Fayetteville.
I've been looking at his work, dude. His fish work is fantastic.
Awesome.
Just amazing.
Yeah. So I think I'm getting a rainbow trout. Yeah. I know, but it's it gets to me the crappie, I just don't know where to put a crappie. I want to work on my arms right now and not, my chest, and that's the flat place. I'm not brave enough to get one on my foot yet. I want to work up to that.
That's something to work up to?
I think so. Maybe.
Because, why do you think that?
I don't know. Because I want to do my arms right now.
That's if you want to do your arms, do your arms.
I don't think it's a workup thing. I think it is. I want to deal with my arms right now, and so.
Yeah, I mean, you're saying workup, so I was like people should work up to getting their hands done.
Yeah.
Or their neck.
Or a face tattoo.
Or their face tattoo, as my daughter apparently
Your
earlier
daughter
was super into I'm getting my face tattooed. I'm gonna get a cheek tattooed on my cheek.
She wanted to get a cheek tattooed on her whole face.
And her mom was just flipping out about it.
She was like, you literally can do whatever you want. You're not getting a tattoo on your face, though, until you go to prison. That was the stipulation. Until you go to prison, you're not getting a face tattoo.
Well, that way, if she goes to prison, that's how you tell the other inmates that you're tough. Because apparently, people with face tattoos are intimidating.
Have you ever met somebody who has a face tattoo that you weren't just I need to keep an eye on this guy?
Yeah, that stupid rapper kid with the rainbow hair and the 69 tattooed on his face.
Yeah, but I feel like you still need to keep your eye on that guy.
No, he's just an idiot.
Exactly, which means I'm not saying he's gonna beat you up, but you
can probably tell him that if he doesn't hold his breath, he could drown, and he'd probably pass out before he started fighting you.
Could breathe through your ears. Anyways, but yeah. So Drew Wilson, check him out. And
we're starting this off fantastic.
it's
Wheels
shotgun.
off.
Wheels off from the beginning. We took off, slammed back down on the ground before we even got a chance to lift the landing gear.
So, speaking of getting fish tattoos, you have been pretty hot to trot lately about wanting to get out on the water. You've done it a couple times, but just haven't really made it happen.
Well, I think this is the first podcast that we should announce for all of us who have followed the story of the blue kayak. The blue kayak is no more.
Yep.
The blue kayak got sold. I decided to take the seat off of it.
Bitch.
Oh my god!
You just swindled
I sold
some poor young kid, probably.
Not a young kid, dude. It's a well-to-do individual. Was like, so I was selling it for $200, and I had a bunch of people reach out to me. I had one guy at work who was like, "Hey, I saw your ad on Facebook. I'd like to buy your kayak." He's like, "But I can only offer you $170." I was like, "Well, I've already got somebody." So I used that and my powers to leverage this person and say, hey, I've already got somebody who's willing to buy it, and they're going to come pick it up.
So you immediately got the eye of the Jew. And
exactly. And I was like, they offered me $250, but you asked for it first, so I'm giving you first right of refusal. And she was like, $250, and I'll Venmo you the money right now. Before she even came and picked it up, I had the cash. So I sold a $300 kayak brand new for $250. That has a crack that has been plastic welded. And I told him about it. I was very open and honest.
I hope so, because if they go in the drink like you did on that thing,
let me tell you.
You work with them and
no, I did not sell it to the person I work with.
Okay, good.
That was one of the reasons I was like, man, I don't know.
Yeah, like I thought. The whole time I was just thinking about like some dude busting in your office, like soaking wet,
dude,
and being like, I tried to use that kayak, and it just sank on me the first time. You bastard.
So I had decided that I was going to give it a go again. And so I was like, maybe I'm going to pull the seat off, because that maybe it made it more tippier because I was higher up. I was just like, I'm going to give it a try. So I pulled the seat off. I was like, I'm just going to use this thing the way I designed it. And I took it out and just took it down the creek a little bit. Nothing crazy at all. And, man, I was just so uncomfortable in that thing. Just not comfortable. It's like I felt like I could move back and forth, and I wasn't going to tip because I had the outriggers. But I was just like, man, I do not want to be in this thing. I do not want to be here. So I immediately went home, immediately posted on Facebook, and was like, I'm done. Sold it. It's gone. So
I don't think that's a bad decision.
No.
Because like kayaks are weird. Like I try to tell people all the time, like one of the biggest things people ask me is like what should I get in a kayak? And the first question I ask them are, how serious are you and how much do you think you're going to use it? Like if you're someone that's like, oh, I'm probably going to go like a few times during the summer fishing in it, or maybe even just recreational, like a few times, not that much. I'm like, just buy yourself a cheap one.
Get yourself something cheap.
But if you're someone that's like, dude, I'm totally going to go all the time, and
I'm going to hunt out of it, I'm going to fish out of it, I'm going to, camp out of it.
Like to get a halfway decent kayak for like, I mean, if they go like from the boat ramp to like the cove right next to the boat ramp and just paddle around the cove, and that's what you mean? Yeah. A cheap one's still okay. Yeah. But, like, if you're going to go any kind of, like, distance, you're going to be putting some miles on that thing and really use it, like, you got to spend some money.
I think it's just about security, and I think it's about feeling, like, confident in that thing. And, I mean, I was confident in mine for a while, but I didn't like it, And so, I mean, and you really don't have to spend a lot of money if you're willing to have some cash set aside, and you are willing to make a decision kind of on the spot. You can look on Facebook Marketplace. You can look on Craigslist.
Oh yeah, I mean,
and you can. But the thing about that is, to be successful, you need to have money in hand, and you need to be willing to say, "I want this. I'll come get it right now." Mm-hmm. That's how you have success on those things.
And then halfway there, they sell it.
Well,
that guy drug that up.
Oh God! Or tell me some different place to go to because they were mad I lowballed them. Yeah, that one hurt. But, hey.
That's what you get for lowballing people.
That's what you get for lowballing people. Oh well, I mean, I win more times than I lose on that deal. So, um,
Well, and I mean, and I wasn't even talking about like going to, like Craigslist or anything like that. If you find, I'm just saying like you go with the better brands than you do
exactly.
like the like off brands like that you find just pop up like in Sam's or
Yeah, I want to
Walmart. I mean,
Walmart. Even this, like some of the stuff at Academy is like super. You know, like they've got
it's on the cusp.
It's on the cusp. They've got a really cool kayak that I was super thinking about getting, which because I saw it on Facebook, which is called the Pelican Catch 100. It's a 10-foot kayak, but it's super stable. It's really wide. You know, it's got a really nice seat like your Jackson does, and it's nice for like $600, right? You know, so it's a step up above an entry level, but it's still kind of got that somewhat doable price on it, you know, and I don't know. I couldn't make a decision, and I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna go with the creek, the Leaky Creek, you know,
The old SS Leaky
the SS
Creek.
Leaky Creek. So I mean, it's
You can hashtag that one.
hashtag SS Leaky Creek.
There you go.
So I'm gonna put a removable casting deck on it, and because I've got the carpet, I've got some 2x4s laying around the house, scrap. So I've already measured all that out. And so all I need to do now is take the jigsaw, go get myself a piece of plywood, and slam that thing on there, and then we're gonna have a front casting deck on that thing.
Mm-hmm.
And that's 14 feet. That's plenty big enough for you and I to go out and try to whack some carp on the creeks, because they're up in Rowlett Creek right now. They were jumping all over the place the other night.
Well, I mean, now's the time that spawning's starting. April and May is when I like slaughter them when I bow fish. And I don't have a bow fishing rig this year, which I'm
with that casting deck.
Well, I don't have a bow fishing rig.
Oh, and you're not. Damn. See, if you were left-handed like the rest of us. I wonder if you could shoot.
Don't you put that evil on me, Ricky Bobby.
Do you think you could shoot a left-handed bow?
I can shoot anything.
Okay. Do you think if we like? So I want to take that. I have that extra bow, and so I want to take that and put a.
I mean, I got all the attachments for it.
Really? I wonder if we take the attachments, put it on my bow, and then our powers combined, we form like Voltron.
See me on the reel, form like Voltron?
Yeah. And we can have a bow fishing rig that we can swap off. We need to have a naming contest. It's so weird you're petting that thing like that. And I think, oh my God, I think I'm just going to leave it weird. The llama, what is it called? A llama corn?
Llama corn, I think. That just got a fresh
Braid
tail
job?
braid
Yeah.
by my wife.
I
think she braided it the wrong way, though. She braided it flat and not...
Should have been like French braid.
Yeah. She got fancy on that shit.
Yeah, dreadlock that thing. But anyway, so we put the casting deck on the front of that thing, and we need to get a couple lights. Then we can take it down the river at night and put some big front spotlights on the front of that thing and go fish.
First, we need to get the motor running.
True, the motor needs to run. It's so bad. If we get the motor running, then we're good to go. But you've got I see both of them are set up out there, and there's progression being made.
Looks could be deceiving.
Well, yeah, you're like a duck, calm on the top, and scrambling underneath. Well, I'm hoping that progress is being made, and to be honest with you, I really don't care as long as they're ready to go before duck season.
Yeah.
If you get it going the day before duck season.
Don't tell me that, because I'm a pretty good procrastinator.
No, it needs to be ready next week.
That's why half the stuff on Stormwater Creek goes the way it does, is because I think we're all pretty bad about procrastinating.
Yeah. So next week, motor should run. Like, I legit just decided to look on eBay the other day, and I'm like, man, for like $180, I can get like a 3 horsepower, like cheap Chinese motor, 2-cycle, just as like a stopgap. Super loud.
Oh yeah. annoying.
Oh my god, like having a weed eater attached to the back of our boat.
We can do that too. We can rig up a weed eater with a
I got a gas.
like a mud motor.
Oh my god,
a cheap mud motor. Wee.
Dude, that would be the ultimate to rig up a.
Kind of like Ace Ventura with the handheld fan.
Yes. I've seen people take like a blower and use that as a. We got ourselves an airboat, boys. I don't think it's gonna hop over a canal.
I might not be high class, but I'm definitely white trash.
I'm definitely white trash. But I think that we get that casting deck on there, and we'll be good to go. Because we can both fly fish out of that thing, no doubt.
Do you think how many fly fishermen do you think would like if we showed up,
roll over in their graves?
Yeah, like we just made the wife squeal over that one.
Die if we fly fish out of the SS Leaky Creek.
You need orange life vests and white.
Dude.
Don't you tempt me with a good time, woman.
I think that we should absolutely do that. Just like redneck up fly fishing. It needs.
I mean, basically already are there.
We're ruining it.
Sorry, Sean.
It used to be a classy sport. So, but yeah, man, crappie should be moving up soon. The sand bass. I've recently gotten a casting net to try my luck out on catching like shad.
How have you been doing?
Man, I'll tell you what, it's harder. Like, it's not easy to throw.
I'll teach you to throw a casting net.
Yeah, and I decided just to, like...
Which one did you get? Did you get the easy mode one that has the metal ring on it?
No.
It's just a straight casting net.
Straight
I
casting
can still
net.
teach you to throw that one. But.
Yeah. What do you mean a ring on it?
So, like, there's some casting net that have a metal round ring that's probably about, like, maybe a foot wide. And you can slide all the net up on that, and then you hold the ring and then lap the weights on the ring, and it holds it for you. Splay it open, and then you can throw it with that. And it's like, basically to me, it's like almost like underhand throwing a frisbee.
Okay. So I went out the first time, and I caught a couple shad, I caught a couple sand bass. Like little bitty sand bass. One like probably maybe 6 inches, and the other one was like the size of a shad, small. And I was like, because I put him in my bucket, I was like, this is probably not legal, even though I wasn't planning on using him for anything. I was just like cool that I caught him, and so I was like looking at him, and I was like, wait a minute, I'm pretty sure this is probably not cool that I'm keeping him, because he's under limit. So I was like, I'm gonna throw you back before anything bad happens. But I did catch a couple shad, and they worked well. I mean, I didn't catch anything, but it was fun catching them in the cast net. So
cast nets are awesome, man. Like once you get to like use them, like once you figure them out, it's a lot nicer.
Well, so then I went home and I decided to watch some YouTube videos on kind of how to use the casting net, and I saw a good one that was a guy was talking about how you like try to like, as if you were holding a towel and you were trying to like rotate it around and let it fall down on a coffee table. It's kind of like the motion your hand should have, when like if you were essentially trying to take the right side of the towel and the left side of the towel and take the right side and put it where the left side is. On the left side of the coffee table and the left side on the right side of the coffee table. And so that made a lot of sense on kind of how to throw it, and just like and that's when I was having the most success, is when I was kind of holding on to what was in my left hand longer, and that would open it up. I still wasn't getting like the good circle, but I'd get a wider kind of oval to it. And that's when I was obviously catching some fish with it. But it was, man, I'll tell you what, I'm super excited about doing that, and then taking that green light out and fishing up in those creeks right now with the green light, because I think we can absolutely hammer some carp and maybe some gar on the fly.
Yeah, that's one of the goals this summer. And I have a few spots that I really want to go to for gar.
on the boat.
especially kayaks,
Oh.
which
Can we not take the boat?
I guess we can.
Why not? What's your like trepidation?
I have no idea what that word means.
What's your kind of caution on taking the boat?
Just that it's really shallow in places. I mean, it's still a john boat. We've talked about this before, that we can maneuver it, but there's, it's gonna be. I mean, we can take the john boat. I don't think it's a big deal. I just, in my mind, I already planned on kayaks. I guess is the better way to say it. And I think a kayak is easier to just drag across stuff, especially with how much patchwork we already had to do at the bottom of that john boat.
We ain't dragging it on anything.
Yeah.
Now I did get it off of the furniture dolly and onto my kayak cart, and that works well, like really good. So it maneuvers so much better, and it doesn't like come flying out when I hit my garage door seal. It just goes right over the top of it. So I'm hoping that I can maneuver that in and out of the boat a little bit easier, in and out of the truck, and then maybe even take it out on the creek myself. But
we need to get the trailer going. By that I mean we need to just buy a wheel for it and finish wiring it.
Yeah. So we've been talking about fly fishing for carp and things like that. So you been tying any cool flies lately?
I have not. I busted a grasshopper out the other day just because I love tying grasshoppers.
They're so fun.
Yeah.
I need to tie some bugs.
So far, that's my favorite one. Of course, I haven't tied that many, a variety.
Where'd you get the foam from?
Just from, where did I get that? That's a foam that you gave me, actually.
Oh, yeah? Okay. That's
'cause I remember
Hobby Lobby.
Yeah, I was in a run to Hobby Lobby.
Yeah.
And get some different colors because I didn't take too many colors from you.
I had like a freaking metric F ton.
Well, I tried to take from you things that was like, these are grasshopper colors because I like the yellow and the brown together. Like I think that's a pretty good color scheme for them. And really and truly, when it all comes down to it, as long as you have
a green and black one. I want to tie me a green and black one.
I have some green and yellows.
Yeah.
Which is another good color.
So you did on yours, and you can see this, what we're talking about now on Instagram. You tied yours with that kind of like bend over type.
Yeah, the head bends back over. You basically take like all I did was take about like a inch to an inch and a half piece of foam in a square that's probably about like an eighth wide, I would say, and then glued the two colors together, and then about like, I would say a little bit on the longer side of half, put the hook through the middle of it and bring it up to the bend of the hook. Yeah. And then what's left over, you pop the eye of the hook. You kind of pull it further than you want it, and then pop the eye of the hook through it, and then bend it over, and that makes your head. And then you just cramp the tail that's hanging off together and wrap your thread around that, which makes the
thorax.
The thorax there.
It looks good, man.
Yeah, they're not hard at all. I was worried they were gonna be a lot harder.
No.
But and they scoot across the water, and then on the back there, that's elk hair.
Yeah.
It gives that nice stiff hair.
Plus it's stiff hair because it comes some buoyancy.
And I put the wings in there. There's foam wings in there, but I like the elk hair.
I like the elk hair as well. I'm trying to think of the last one I tied. I haven't been tying any grasshoppers of late.
I mean, everything I've tied so far, I've liked to tie, but the grasshopper's probably my favorite. I tied woolly boogers. I've tied several different ways of woolly boogers, and I haven't decided if I like using the wire inside my woolly boogers.
Yeah.
Or not. I think the next thing I'm going to try is implementing the bead head and the woolly boogers, and then the Clouser minnow, which is just straight classic.
Yeah, that's what I think I'm going to try to tie for those carp, and they were hitting topwater real bad, so we're like really good. So I'm thinking like some smaller dry flies, some just dry fly type stuff. And I mean, the other thing is I saw like all those beetles. Like at my house, I've got a ton of those little beetles. Maybe they're not beetles, but like June bugs.
June bugs, yeah.
Yeah, it's June bugs. So I'm like, I'm wondering if you could kind of tie a June bug type pattern and.
I'm sure there's one out there. We can figure it out. We can play around with it.
Yeah, there's got to be a June bug pattern. Because right now, those things are going nuts at my house. And I would love to see.
I've just been curious because, like, I talked to, Sean's talked to us before from Tailwaters, and he was talking about how fun carp are to catch on a fly. And you really get into people talking about it, and like we talked about it at the Fly Fest on the podcast. They're talking about how like over in Europe and stuff like that, that's like the bee's knees of catching fish is carp. Everyone goes crazy over carp, and
oh yeah, man, these guys are just using foam. And then painting it with an epoxy. It looks like some sort of maybe epoxy. Yeah, look, just a real easy.
Yeah, it didn't look hard at all.
No, it looks kind of like a peanut that's been got a hook on it.
Let's just put a peanut on a hook.
Peanut on a hook, yeah.
Put some little legs off of it.
Yeah.
June bug.
I'd like to give that a try. Because I'm sure they're hitting those things right now. Match the hatch, right? That's what they say. So, June bugs are hatching.
Are they?
Based on what I'm seeing in my pool skimmer and what is dead outside of my door, then yeah.
All like the hardcore fly fishermen use a little net and little vial, and they're looking at it. You just pull up your pool filter, and you're like, "Yep, June bugs in.
June bugs.
Match the hatch."
Yep, that's why we're in the SS Leaky Creek, and they're just like, oh God, he's not in Sims Waders. Die. So, but yes, we need to get out here. This weekend is unfortunately a no-go, but I think next weekend we should split our time.
Yeah, and that's the hardest part about, like, sometimes I wish that I wasn't such a hunter and more of a fisherman, or vice versa. But like, I really like both, like a lot.
Really?
So like, it's a hard choice to make. But I pretty much have, like, right now, turkey season.
If I didn't have a
like,
straight hard on for turkeys right now, then I would be doing nothing but fishing. Nothing but fishing. Because, I mean, I'm trying to sneak out and do fishing during the week. That's my kind of... Thankfully, it's lighter so much later now, so I get a little bit more time. So I'm trying to go in and do that, but it's better to do it with our friends, So
do hood rat stuff with your friends?
Do hood rat stuff with our friends, exactly. So I may try to sneak out this week and see if I can't hit up the creek in the Leaky Creek solo, unless you want to drive over to Rowlett.
Nah.
It's a long way after work for like an hour or two.
Yeah.
And it takes you an hour to get here. It was a haul today with traffic, but who cares?
It's hard to go from your side of the town to over here and my side of the town to over there.
Yeah.
During the middle of the week, because traffic just sucks. So, like, you only get like an hour or so by the time I get out there.
Yeah.
On the actual creek. Of course, we need to roll up there and do a little night fishing. And
yes.
Some bobber fishing, some lighted bobbers, and
yes.
Drink beer and do some awesome stuff together.
I couldn't agree more. We should I think could be hopefully one of our next coming podcasts is going to be episode 2 of the bank fishing. while we podcast this, people are just like, "What is going on over there?" But I think that would be a lot of fun. Bust out the Bullman rig.
I heard the Bullman rig works really well.
It did. It hasn't worked since, but
I don't think you can actually recreate the Bullman rig.
no, I don't think so either.
The problem is that was like one of those like luck into
Type thing.
just a mess.
Just a mess that
And,
worked.
Yeah, it just happened to work.
Exactly. So, turkey season. It is upon us. I've been out twice. You have been out once. And you're going to go back out this weekend.
Yeah, I'm going out this weekend for sure.
To Lake Tawakoni.
Yeah, I'm going to go to Tawakoni where we're at last weekend. And, I think I'm going to go to, like we were talking about earlier, I'm going to go back to that unit we
discussed.
Yeah, discussed, because we found a lot more activity there. We found a lot of prints, tracks, and we had one gobbling.
We did.
We had him gobbling, and he was super into it. He sounded, but from the size of the track and the impression he left, the depth and everything, I'm guessing he is a big old gnarly tom.
I'm hoping so.
I mean, his gobble sounded as such, but he acted like one. Like he
was very cagey.
Yeah, he did not want to
come out.
He didn't want to play the role reversal, because everybody knows that, in nature, you're actually, the tom calls a hen to him. And when you're hunting them, you are doing a little role reversal. And you're basically just pissing them off enough to...
You got to play the hot girl at the bar who you got to go to
playing
her.
Hard to get. You're playing hard to get.
Playing hard to get.
And they'll come for it most of the time. But this guy was not having that. He was demanding that this hen that he was hearing comes to him. And he would get close, and we thought we were having him, and then he would shut down, and then we'd hear him like further away. And Abe was going to be the shooter on that one, and so he made a good call and told me to kind of sneak back. We had a pretty good sized tree in front of us, and spring here in Texas, everything is just green and thick with foliage, and so I used that as cover and ran back up the hill a little ways, and then started calling from a little bit further away, but still directly behind Abe, to try to make him think that this hen was, tired of his BS and was getting out of there. And that didn't work.
I felt like we only needed him to come like 10 yards. Like 10 yards, and he would have been on the edge of that brush. It sounded like he was that close.
Well, and
who really knows, but...
I mean, he did sound really close, and I don't doubt that. We were working it pretty good, but then he just kind of petered out and gave up, and we waited and stopped calling and listened, and then would call a little bit, to see if we could get him to call back to us, and he just wouldn't do it, and we waited quite some time, and then he wasn't giving us any more answers, so we decided to kind of check out the lay of the land a little bit, maybe walk over a large arc around to where we thought he might be and see if we can move positions, and we just never really found him again. But I like the idea of looking around, talking to people, all that stuff. I like the idea of doing kind of another role reversal on him, because he was, if we left him alone for a little while, he would get frustrated and gobble.
Yeah.
So what we kind of determined with all of our looking around and stuff, what would be nice to try next time would be to let him gobble and don't call.
Yeah.
And then once he calls for like a second time, like, there's no rhyme or reason to what you would do, but you're basically just letting him like get frustrated. You're not calling him back.
Yeah.
And then once he stews and you have like 2 gobbles, however far apart they are, and then just give like the lightest little just.
Yeah. Who does this bitch
Yeah,
think
like
she is?
just a couple little.
Yeah.
Just not even
Clucks, yeah.
not even purrs, like none of that stuff. Just a couple little
Cuts
clucks,
stuff.
and just kind of just,
Yeah.
and then just let him stew on that, and just keep on, because he acted like one of those toms that just thought that he shouldn't have.
You come to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he didn't come out of the woods.
And we played the game the way that, I think most people would, and how I normally play that game is, you give a couple calls and you get the gobble, and, then you kind of call back to him, and you kind of judge if he's walking in, and, do the situation, call a little more, call a little less, like figure it out. But like if you can tell he's walking in, you don't need to be like just hammering on that call. Mm-hmm. And then normally it works, but
I mean, he was a little farther away. You could tell that we would, he would get a little closer, and it's like, oh, here he's coming, right? He's getting closer, and then it would just like he'd hang, and then and it's like he would just stand there, and so, I mean, it's just one of those things. It's just you're not always going to get him in, no matter what you do. So, but I think the fact of kind of our tactic of moving around, calling in the woods, seeing what we've got. If we don't hear anything, move on, and just keep walking and keep covering territory. And I think that was the biggest thing us locating birds that day was we didn't just set up and say, all right, we're just going to wait for one to come in. Like, I don't think that's the best, unless you're on a property that is just covered with turkeys. I don't think that's the best strategy. I think it's a great way to start the morning if you want to get out and hunt all day like we did.
That's kind of, and that's how we did it. Like, yeah. we got our first spot that we picked out.
Yeah.
We were on a public land spot, and on this public land they lease out cattle rights, grazing rights.
Yeah.
So.
I didn't know they did that at Tawakoni.
Yeah, they do. And so we decided that, we set up, we hung pretty tight. We tried out our spot because we made the plan. We were there,
early.
And we moved spots enough. The initial spot that we got that we wanted from the satellite that we looked at when we did our internet scouting, we had lots of cows there. And we decided, let's move on a little bit away from these cows, but like on that property, we couldn't really get away from the cows.
No, they were everywhere.
They were everywhere, and they were just coming in to where we were sitting and all that. And we hung out pretty long and didn't really get too much sign, and we decided just to kind of do like a little scout and a little, run and gun, just run around the property and move slowly through the woods. Look for signs, look for where they might be roosting. Every now and then stop and, we did some, blast the crow call, see if we can get a shot gobble. And then, like, if we thought we were, around about an area that looked good, maybe some hen calls and stuff like that. And, to me, that is the fun part.
Yeah, I had so much fun doing that.
Because I like seeing the land.
Yeah.
Especially because we don't have a lot of time to go scout all the time. So,
nope.
Sometimes we use one hunt, the first hunt, for more of a scouting trip than anything.
You got to maximize. If something's not working, you got to change it up. I think you can't.
And then we got tricked.
We did get tricked. I think we got tricked, but I think we also knew what we were just kind of like exploring it to see if there was anything to explore. We were like, we're here.
Well, we were far enough out that it was hard to tell too, because we made a couple calls, and then we heard something calling back. Made a couple more calls, heard something calling back. And then we got to a point where we were already in the area, and then we saw tracks.
Yeah.
People tracks.
There's
But
no doubt
there was
that
also turkey tracks in that same spot. So that dude was in a good spot.
He was in a good spot. And the other thing about that is we were in that spot long enough to know that guy had just walked back there probably.
Yeah.
We had just missed him walking back there. Otherwise, we'd have seen him. I mean, we'd have heard him. He was hammering on that hen call.
Yeah.
You know, and so if he was hammering on it, we heard it farther away than because we were closer to him. Because we kind of looped back to where we'd already walked, kind of see and explore. And what we did is we crept through. We didn't go busting in and charging in. We crept through, and kind of found us a good vantage point. Looked in, and there's decoys. Like, let's back out of here. And so that's the way you play it on public land. You don't just go charging through, and you don't own the place, right? So you got to be respectful, and you don't know who's calling or what call they're using. They could be using a gobble. They can be using a hen call. I mean, who knows what they're doing, right? And so, and granted, like I said, as soon as we kind of got closer, we were like, that's human. But at that point, it was like, hey, maybe he's calling for a reason, and we can set up on a bird, and if he ain't able to work it in, maybe we can work it in, which I'm all good with. Some people may be like, no. But I was absolute 100% like, I'm not going to go bust him up, but if I can, like, if he scares it off and it comes my way, louch.
Because your milkshake brings all the boys to the yard.
My milkshake brings all the boys to the yard, bro. Bearded boys.
Bearded boys, big old rope draggers.
Big old rope draggers.
My wife says she does not like that term.
Rope dragger?
Rope dragger.
Why?
I don't know.
She hasn't given you an explanation?
No. If she walks back through here, I'll ask her. I'll put her on the spot.
We'll ask her and say, hey, why is rope dragger offensive? Why is it pound me too? It's the funniest thing ever. So you're going to go back out this weekend.
Yeah, I'm going to go back out this weekend. They go to where we had the hangar. Because those tracks we found, which we put them up on.
They're on the Instagram,
on the socials. Facebook, right?
Yeah, Facebook and Instagram.
Facebook and Instagram. And Twitter. But I don't pay much attention to our Twitter.
I'm going
to be honest. Like, I probably have like all kinds of people talking to us on Twitter, and I just haven't really.
I don't even have Twitter installed on my phone. Is that cool? Is that not cool?
I don't know. Like, I really don't know. Like, I think it always bounces back. Anyway, I don't know.
I just am. I'm such a fan of the Insta.
I do like Insta. It seems a little more like you just kind of post a picture up and whatever.
Yeah, like I hate the argument shit. That's.
Yeah, I mean, I do Facebook a little bit, but like, I don't really pay attention to Facebook all that much because it's mainly just arguments.
It's just stupid.
And I think Twitter seems like the same way as me.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure there's some funny ass shit on Twitter. Pretty good stuff, but
I heard Tumblr's better for that.
Tumblr. This once again, you kids these days. So, well, I think we should. Hopefully, you get a turkey this weekend. I'm hoping.
I think if I don't see anybody else being out where we were at, like that was the great place. Like the great thing about where we were at in Tawakoni, and all the units we ran around to, there was not very many people.
It was great. It was great seeing essentially no one out there. I mean, I would like people to be out in the woods, but
not when I'm out there.
Not when I'm out there. You guys go on days that I'm not there. And so to go out there and see, like, we ran in. I mean, that unit we picked out of the thin blue air. I mean, we didn't say, hey, let's go, here because we'd been there or done that or seen anything. We just were like, let's figure out a place that looks good on the Google Earth and Onyx, and let's go there. And that's exactly what we did.
Do you really use Google Earth?
I do. I really don't use Google Earth for stuff here in the state.
Yeah,
I use Google Earth for the elk trip that I'm scouting for. Absolutely. I'm using Google Earth because I can really zoom in and, I have no, delusions of the fact that I can somehow get the elevation and the topography from that. I can I feel like in a degree, right? I can at least understand what it kind of looks like in some small percentage of a way that it should look like, right? That, hey, this is a valley. I don't know how steep the sides are. I don't know if it's even accessible, but I know that this is kind of the lay of the land. And I think that's what Google Earth is really helpful for. And outside of that, I'm really heavy in Onyx. That's what I'm using, for everything.
So especially in the state, because as much as I've had people fuss at me for not going outside the state for some hunts.
Yeah.
But I've been doing all my hunting in Texas,
that is the
and
longest route, though. It's so hard to get to the NW, the NM, New Mexico.
Mm-hmm.
It's a long way. It's so far from Dallas.
It's not, though. Like, it really isn't. Like, me and Grinch have done it a couple times, but
13 hours.
I don't know that there's so many hunts here in Texas that like I've found like all these little pockets that we've found and stuff like that, and it's like, man, I really want to. Like when you drive by a little pond that's public, that's just some nasty little pond, and you're like, man, if I could pull a big old freaking bucket mouth out of that, it'd be super awesome.
Yeah.
That's how I feel about like these little places in Texas, because, we don't have very much. It's a shame, but we don't.
But we have enough.
We do.
That's the thing. I think people are. We've talked about this so many times, and we've been doing a lot of BHA events, like tabling events where we're at other places, and people just look at us like we're crazy, like you do public land, and you're just like, is there public land in the state? And you're just like, yeah. And I get them not knowing, because shit, I didn't know for the longest time, It was just, that was a thing in Colorado, right? That was a thing in Montana and Wyoming and Utah. That wasn't something here. And so I think there's no way we could have utilized, Tawakoni, there are parts that are still unexplored after 3 years of hunting out there. There's still parts you haven't got to, just because it's just like, I don't have the time to just tear that place apart, right? And so, at some point, I think people should kind of set aside that notion of, well, we only have 1% or 2% or 3%, right? It's just a small percentage. Well, still 1 million acres. Don't you think you can make that work for yourself somehow, some way? You find yourself your own little niche somewhere in 1 million acres.
1.7 million.
1.7 million. You're right. So, public land rant over.
No, it's good to rant about it because, when you have so little, it's pretty easy to lose a lot.
Yeah.
But what I was getting at was, since I'm in the state trying to find all these little honey holes in our state, down the street and cheaper is the big thing for me. I'm cheap when it comes to my hunting because I work for a living.
Yeah.
Got a family and all that stuff. So being able to go down this road to some little honey hole nearby and pull a mountain of ducks up or a turkey or something like that, just allures me.
I agree. Allure. It's very alluring.
Alluring. That's swimmingly. But like I've been using Onyx for it because the reason why is because it's a one-stop shop for me. That's why I was asking if you do use Google Earth, because I didn't know if it was that much better. Because like I'll look at stuff and you have the hybrid map.
Yeah.
So you have satellite and topo all in the same thing, and I can look at it, see the drainages, water sources, and just drop a pin there. Especially on the internet. You're drop a pin on the internet and then pick it up on your phone, and it's on your phone.
I mean, that's the thing is it's such a great tool. We need to have those guys back on again and kind of talk about it. But it's just, if you're not using it, then you're cheating yourself, man. It's the best app for hunting that I've got.
I've definitely found some places that I'm really curious about, and I'm about to start dialing up some counties and stuff like that and find out whether or not. Because the hard part is, like, you find so many little green belts and stuff like that are public.
Yep.
Yeah, but they're kind of in that gray zone of, like, kind of in the city limit where firearms aren't allowed to be used and stuff like that. So, like, where is and can I?
Yeah.
Because there's some places you can.
Yeah.
And you don't know it. So that's where I've been.
Rules.
It's so much of this stuff that is addicting. Like finding
the search.
Finding that little spot in the river where there's a little bow coming off the river where you can sneak up in there, and that's where they're
the little oxbows and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was talking to Jesse about this at the fly fishing film tour. It's just like, dude, I am still like flying about ducks. Like, I can't freaking wait, dude. Like, already I'm just like, I want to go out and try to figure it out right now. And it's just like, you got to have some patience there, So, but I think we just start looking at places and start looking at areas and,
And we got our spots. I mean, like, we called in a mess this year, and there was.
I mean, the biggest thing I'm doing this year.
I guess the people that were really shooting the most had bent barrels and stuff like that, and that happens.
Mm-hmm.
But
I mean, to me,
we definitely found them, but like, I think we do need to venture out.
Oh yeah.
That's the other thing when we have spots that are covered up. Have other spots.
Pack up and go somewhere else. I mean, to me, I think the biggest thing is just like, just shooting a lot this summer, right? I shoot my bow like crazy, year round. Why am I not shooting my shotgun like crazy? I mean, it's more expensive, but I mean, for real, I say, I'm gonna do some straight up skeet type stuff, but I'm gonna go out to Elm Fork or Defender and I'm going to work on my shotgun skills before dove season, so that come September 1st, I'm a well-oiled machine with that thing.
And that's really what it's about. Like, I mean, I bought a bunch of snap caps for my rifles, my AR. I bought some snap caps for my 308. I bought a snap cap for, because not that I have ever had a problem pulling the trigger, but just getting that muscle memory and keeping it all the time. Like, just, you can sit in your house, make sure your firearm is completely unloaded and safe. Keep ammo in another room is like one of the best tips I've gotten from a lot of people, which makes perfect sense. Throw a snap cap in, and you can sit, watch TV, and pull your rifle up, and just press it. Steady squeeze. And
yeah, I think that's a lot of my problem, and
that's a lot of most people's problems.
Jerking.
Well,
that
not
trigger.
just even jerking. Like, if you can tell a lot while you're looking, and if you're squeezing, if you have too much finger on the trigger, not enough finger on the trigger, your muscles, the way you pull it, like, you might not be pulling straight back.
Yeah.
Jerking it for sure.
I think I should practice with some gloves on, because that's the thing to me. This is like weird, is shooting with gloves on.
I do this with my bow, and I know that I wear gloves when I'm out bow hunting. And we did it last year. Remember,
Yeah.
y'all made fun of me because I put my I
Your
have
gloves
those
on.
I have those little glove liners that I wear like almost all the time,
Mhm.
and
I'll tell you what,
put
man.
those on and shot with it, and it feels so much different.
Oh,
But getting used to that is 100%.
I'm the worst about wearing gloves in the stand, man. You know, I keep my hands in my pockets or something, and just, you know. But I'm the worst, and so I finally broke down and got a pair of glove liners like you've got, and because I got them for turkey season, and man, I can't. I'm the same way. I'm gonna shoot them with my bow, shoot my bow with them, and
They're so nice.
they are nice. They're
Like
so lightweight.
I have the first light ones, and yeah, I mean like they breathe good, but they're warm enough on a cool morning,
yeah, where it's in, you
and
know,
they hide your flash of your hands.
Yeah, I think they're great, especially come like I've got my early season setup down now for deer. You know,
On lock.
on lockdown. I got good shirt, good pants now.
I don't think you say the down. I think the hip part you just say on lock.
On lock. Is that the cool thing to say?
I think so.
Okay. I've got my cool summertime like early fall outfit is on lock.
There you go.
So cool. I felt cool saying that.
Yeah, didn't you?
Damn.
You looked cool.
Damn. It's awesome, bro.
You didn't look like my grandpa that time.
Well, Papa.
Papa.
Papa, can you hear me? But I think that, like I said, dude, the ducks are. Oh, I'm looking forward to doing some exploring up in Oklahoma. And guess what? I haven't said this yet, but Gavin has bought a house on Texoma, literally 30 seconds from a boat ramp that we have access to. Not a private boat ramp. And he's like,
You just confused the hell out of me. So it's a private boat ramp we have access to.
yes, because he lives inside of this community. And he's like, dude, here's the deal. My door has a code on it. Like, go up there and have at it. It's you boys have access to it. So we have a house to stay at Texoma, even if he's out of town, which he is never out of town. So we can
At Tawakoni.
at Tawakoni. At Tawakoni, we have a boat ramp. But more importantly, a place to stay, so we can just roll out there, be on the water, and hunt the Sabine River in the Sam Houston National Forest
For sure.
in Matagorda Island
Mm-hmm.
on Mustang Bay. I don't even think that's a place.
I mean, I'm sure there's something called that.
You think there's a bay called Mustang Bay?
It's Mustang Island, Mustang.
I know there's Mustang
whatever.
Island. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, there's got to be a Mustang Bay somewhere.
Yeah. You'd think there'd be a Mustang Bay somewhere. Welp, I think we covered it all.
Did we?
Probably not. We got through what we wanted to get through. That's for sure. You know. We talked about what we needed to talk about.
Which was?
Fly fishing.
Hunting stuff. Hunting and fishing stuff.
Hunting and fishing stuff. Tattooing. Talked about tattoos.
Yeah, you got your first one, and now you're just like a juvenile delinquent.
I'm ready, bro.
I'm ready.
I'm ready. I'm so excited, dude. May 9th.
Did you finish? Tell what you get rainbow trout, chasing a fly.
Yeah.
What kind of fly?
That has been the question that I cannot come up with.
Are you gonna take one of your own flies up there and make them just kind of get close to one of your own?
Maybe. But I mean, mainly what I've tied is bass flies.
I mean, like someone in your position.
Should absolutely.
That would be just like getting your kid's feet print tattooed on you.
It's funny you should say that. That is going to be my wife and I's next tattoo.
Dog prints?
Yeah.
All three of them?
All three of them.
I can't believe have a 3-legged dog.
So I want to try to take their paws and put them in ink and just put them on paper and then take that in and say, this is what I want.
We did that for old J-Ro.
Yeah. Hashtag pour one out.
Mm-hmm. Pour one out for my homie.
Sadness has struck the Stormwater Creek crew.
I want to, like, I would say that's kind of one of the reasons why we had such a hard time this weekend hooking up for anything.
I would think so. Yeah.
You know, this will probably come out
tomorrow.
It's not come out to that.
This is
all right. Well, this is like the closest we've ever done a podcast.
Absolutely, one of the closest we've ever done a podcast.
So last Friday, about a week ago, we had to put my puppers down. Y'all probably have seen him on the podcast. He's the lone gray muzzled dog.
The Jethro.
Old Jethro Bodine. If anyone knows what that is, y'all are awesome guys. If anyone knows who Jethro Bodine is.
Right in. There could be a sticker, which finally, Jesse Hours paid off for his sticker. like a week ago.
Paid off?
We had never sent him his sticker after he won it.
So he didn't. We finally paid him.
We finally gave him his sticker that he was justly owed for the bow shooting competition we had last summer.
Yeah.
I was like, we haven't forgotten about you. It's just been really rough. So I gave him a Stormwater Creek sticker. I was like, here's your sticker.
I'll throw a Stormwater Creek sticker out to somebody that
would be able to identify correctly Jethro Bodine.
Who Jethro Bodine got his name from.
Harry Potter?
No. Do you really not know?
No.
You can't give the answer.
I don't know.
But yep, I'll throw one of each because I feel so good and miss my puppy. I miss my puppy so much that if y'all make me happy by knowing who Jethro Bodine is, first one that messaged us on, what do you think, Instagram? Insta or Facebook. Let's do both. Insta or Facebook. First one to message me who Jethro Bodine is. We'll get one of each sticker. The Stormwater Creek Hunt and Fish Get Outside sticker and the Hook S with the waves underneath it Stormwater Creek sticker.
Oh man.
That's some awesome stickerage.
That's the S is the S with a hook on it is a tattoo I want to get real bad. I know you.
Man, you just had turned a big old piece of shit with all these tattoos, man.
Can't wait.
Like, luckily you already got a job because you're never getting a job again once you get those.
But it's not like I'm getting my hands tattooed.
What are you trying to say?
Well, you know, I'm hidden. You're a piece of shit. Everybody knew this.
You don't need the tattoos for people to think that.
Oh. So, well, thanks for listening, guys. There's a lot of shit coming out, like new stuff. We got turkey hunts going on. We got hog hunts that are about to happen. So stay tuned. Lots of cool things in the Stormwater Creek world. If you're a BHA follower, you should join us down at Bernie at the Leading Edge Archery Shop on May 25th for Full Draw Film Tour.
Oh, yeah.
That shit's happening again, bro.
I like that bow shop.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
Leading Edge.
Really
those dudes down there are top notch.
They are top notch. Scott and Cody, those boys know what they doing.
Well, and that you got your string from them.
I did.
And I got my string from them. And I'm super stoked about that string.
The string is the shit, dude. Custom built. And then we move over like June 11th. No, June. I should know this, right? Should probably have this figured out before I start announcing these things.
Worst VP ever.
Worst VP ever. Hold on. Oh, dear God.
Papa, can you hear me?
Papa, can you hear me? I think it's June.
Look, since he obviously doesn't know when his own events are going on.
Suck at my job.
Worst VP ever. Hashtag worst VP ever. We'll just post this stuff up on the Stormwater Creek
On the
socials. We'll figure it
Stormwaters.
out.
Oh, I'm in the wrong one. It's June 22nd.
Did you finally find it?
June
Okay.
22nd.
We'll probably still post up on the socials.
We will.
At one
Absolutely.
point.
You'll see it
Probably
come
closer.
out June 22nd at Texas Archery down in the H-Town. It's our first major...
Harlingen?
Not Harlingen. Fucking asshole. Harlingen. Yeah, when I say H-Town, everybody's going to be like, oh, Harlingen. It's definitely the H-Town that we talk about. It's like somebody saying D-Town and being like, you mean dumbass? Or Dalhart? Or Del Rio?
So it's in Heiko.
Absolutely in Heiko. We're June 27th, Heiko. No, it's June 22nd in Houston at Texas Archery.
No.
And there's going to be, I think, a cook-off.
A cook-off.
A cook-off.
Like wild game cook-off? Or just a cook-off?
Anything.
Whatevs?
Whatevs, bro. The old
Is it,
Rochambeau.
is it Houston legit? Or is it like one of those like fringe, like Conroe or... Should I not ask you these questions? That's putting you
Jesus.
more on the spot.
You are asking me putting me on the spot. Let us do a bit of research here and get the exact location of Texas Archery.
Yeah, I want Google Maps on this stuff.
We'll draw you a line. TX Archery.
Well, is that all the full draws?
No.
But we just don't have them on lock yet?
There's going to be a film tour, full draw film tour, at Tailwaters on August 17th. We return to Tailwaters. And I believe there's going to be a cook-off at that as well.
Like everything? Cook-off?
Everything. It's in spring.
Who's doing the cook-off?
Who's doing the cook-off? I don't know. Do you want to enter?
Like, does anyone can enter?
Yeah.
Like, interrupt? What would some mofo that
Wants
won
to
this
enter?
thing
Get?
I
think we're going to do... We actually have a call tonight to determine this, but pretty 99% certain the way this is going to roll is...
I'd bring that percentage down a little bit because you might get run over in the meeting.
Nah. Everybody puts in X amount of dollars, and half of it goes to the winner, half of it goes to BHA.
So we don't know what X amount of dollars is.
Depends
Is
on
it
how many people sign up.
This is $1.
It's not
No,
a
yes.
dollar. There is a dollar figure that is yet to be determined, TBD'd, on the entry fee. But whatever your entry fee ends up being, half of that's going to stay in your pocket. I mean, if you win.
So you get half your entry fee back.
Why are you doing this to me? You're just confusing everyone, Jordan.
Everyone's going to be like, man, BHA Texas are assholes.
No, they're going to be like, Jordan's an asshole. No, everybody puts in their entry fee into a pot, and they split the pot. And we're going to do some cool... We're going to have a bunch of vendors there. I think Chama Chairs is going to be there. We talked to them at Texas Fly Fishing.
Yeah, they didn't want to be on our podcast, I don't think.
They were like, you boys...
Like,
almost took... Freaking Chris from Kakoa almost took
oh,
down
man, you don't need to say this.
It happened on the podcast.
Yeah, but, like, we didn't, let sleeping dogs lie. Like, hey, who was behind us? Like, there was he took out the
He
booth
took out the TFO booth
Is it
behind
TFO?
us. Yeah. TFO and a beer and a beer station.
and then Chama Chairs.
And Chama Chairs is like, nah, bro, we're good.
Like, yeah, they didn't want any part of us. That's for dadgum sure.
They're like, you guys are weird.
You guys are retards.
You guys are retards. We're out. But I believe they're going to be at the at least fly fishing film at the Tailwaters event.
What did one of those chairs run?
I think like 170, 160.
They looked pretty legit.
They were badass.
Did you sit in one?
I did.
The best thing, and like, I would really buy one of their chairs just for the fact of this dude walked by like a heavy-set old boy. Like, not Rascal Scooter riding around heavy-set, but I mean, he was a big old boy. I'm sure anybody listening to this would probably not be able to get how big this boy was. Like, they wouldn't be close to him. You know what I mean? Just a
Yeah.
big old boy.
Big O.
And he asked him, you know, like most big old boys would, pointed at the chair and said, "What's the weight limit of that?" And the dude just looked at him and goes, "You would be a light snack." And I was like, bro, cheers.
Yeah. It
Like,
was.
That was a great way to describe that. You would be a light snack. Like,
You'd be a light
right,
snack.
right off the bat, I mean, just popped it out there. Didn't bat an eye at it. Just, don't you worry about that, bro.
Don't you even worry about it. So, well, everybody, it has been a good one. Stay tuned. Follow us on social media. Check out our new website,
Yeah.
stormwatercreek.com. Maybe you're even listening to our podcast via that, which would be awesome. And check out new blog entries we've got. We've got some new ones coming out. Austin just killed a big Neil guy, so
Dude.
a cooler so heavy he couldn't even lift it into the truck.
A 110,
Yeah, it was ridiculous.
and he couldn't close it.
It was ridiculous, for sure.
I think they got 3.
They did. They shot a bunch. So I'm excited for some Neil guy. So we've got some pictures on the Instagram if you want to see that, but there will be more coming out of meat processing because he was like, nah, I'm going to process this myself, and just instantly regretted it. He doesn't regret it, but it's a lot of work. A whitetail's a lot of work, let alone a Neil guy. So, and
Well,
hopefully
he did get a little overconfident because his whitetail skills are fantastic.
yeah,
I mean, they really are, and they take him no time at all. And like, he was like, yeah, maybe double what I could do with a whitetail, and then
nay.
nay.
Mm-mm. So we're going to hear more about that hopefully on the next podcast when he joins us. And hopefully we
Yeah, sorry that it was just me and Abe.
the two pieces of shit. The OGs.
Well, everyone hears you. You talk a lot, but like, you pretty much just carried this whole podcast tonight by yourself.
No, that's not true. It's not true. You pointed out bad things that I'd say, like I didn't know the date for the Houston event and that H-Town was Harlingen and then Hyco. So
Those are the towns I want to go to.
Can you come up with another town in Texas that begins with an H?
Yeah.
Oh, can you?
Why wouldn't I?
What? Name one. Cue the music. Thanks for listening, guys. No. Send us an H-Town. Now cue the music. Later, guys.